Hello, all you wonderful people out there, and welcome back to My Media Museum. Today, we're going to be looking at the best new 2022 acquisitions to my 45 RPM collections. And we're starting off right here with the Cheech and Chong Framed. Beside that, Pedro's Request. So that's a great one to have. Always love the Cheech and Chong. Can't have enough. But staying with the old Cheech and Chong theme, we've got Peter, Paul, and Mary doing Puff the Magic Dragon. Yeah, there's some controversy as to what they were really talking about there, but I think you can put two and two together and see the connection. And on the B-side of that, they got them doing a cover of Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind. Moving on. Again, still with a bit of a Cheech and Chong connection here. War doing Low Rider, which was on the Up in Smoke soundtrack, if you don't remember. And the B-side of that being So, which is a song that I don't really recognize. And then here's an interesting one. This is a real interesting one. If you know the band Black Oak, Arkansas, or Arkansas, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it, they tried to go a little more commercial. They dropped Arkansas off their name and just went by Black Oak. This Fade Away is the My Love, Not Fade Away song that you may be familiar with. It's hard to recognize it from their cover of it because you get quite a ways into it before you realize what song they're actually doing. And this is one of those good old AM/FM ones. It's got the mono on this side. It says mono side A and stereo side A. So there isn't a B side, just the two different versions from 1977. Now we've got another interesting one here. The Who, you can See Me, Feel Me. A nice little gold label there. Clearly marked as side 1. And I'm glad they did that because Overture for Overture for Tommy could just as easily have been a side 1. But that's instrumental, so yeah, much more likely they're going to want to have him singing on there, Roger Daltrey singing. And next up, The Doors with Tightrope Ride. Not one of their songs that I'm tremendously familiar with, to tell you the truth. I do recognize the title, but it wasn't one of their huge hits. And the B-side of that, Variety is the Spice of Life. Okay, another Doors song I'm not really familiar with. But those were clearly marked A and B as well. See, we got another ARC sticker there, so you know where this one came from. And Randy Newman doing Short People. Yeah, my wife's a little sensitive about her height, so she doesn't find this song funny. But I always did. Yeah. And on the B-side of that is Old Man on the Farm, which is not a song that I'm familiar with either. And this sleeve clearly doesn't match what's in it. But I've got a Don McLean doing American Pie here. I know there's been some controversy of him in recent years, but it doesn't matter. American Pie is a great song. This is where they've got it broken up. Part 1 on A side and part 2 on the B side. So if you hear it on the radio now, they're playing it, off the album, and you're hearing the whole long thing, more likely than not. But when it originally came out, it was split into 2 parts over 2 sides. There's a few songs that I've got on 45 that were done that way. It seems kind of crazy these days, kind of like on the old 8 tracks when they'd switch tracks in the middle of a song. We all loved that, didn't we? Fats Domino, I Want to Walk You Home. I really love Fats Domino. Don't know why, I just really took an appreciation to him early on. And I've got quite a few of his 45s. I always pick them up when I see them if they're reasonably priced. B-side, I'm going to be a wheel someday. Yeah, I like Fats a lot. And this next one here is another Fats Domino, but it's in pretty poor condition label-wise. It plays just fine. But Blueberry Hill. You always think of Happy Days with Richie Cunningham singing I Found My Thrill. And the B-side of that, Honey Child. So, I do have a better copy of that one somewhere in one of my boxes somewhere. But trying to show you the sleeves. There's not a lot of these sleeves that have had anything to really look at. They've mostly just been plain. So here we've got Christopher Cross with Arthur's theme. The best you can do is fall in love. And the B-side of that, I really like Christopher Cross. He came out strong, but he just seemed to fade away real fast. Say You'll Be Mine on the B-side. I don't know that, but yeah, he had 4 or 5 really great songs. Especially that first album seemed to have like 3 or 4 of them. So then we've got The Police doing Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, which is a great Police song. Really glad to have that one on 45. And then the B-side of this is Shambell. I want to say Shambhala, but that's not right. It's clearly Shambell or something to that effect, which is not a Police song that I'm familiar with. And then this one's an interesting one too. Actually, this sleeve's kind of different. It's an older sleeve. It doesn't match the disc that we've got here. But the Eagles, Lion Eyes. Now what makes this one interesting is you'll notice it's from the original motion picture soundtrack for the Urban Cowboy, and it is the B-side. As far as I'm concerned, this would have to be the A-side because I do like the Eagles' Lion Eyes. And what they're calling the A-side is probably a country and western song, being that it's from the Urban Cowboy soundtrack, and Johnny Lee, Doing for Love. Now I'm not sure if that's the Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places song. I would know that song. But not being a country and western fan and not even having any idea who Johnny Lee is, I can't say if that's that song or not. I recently picked Urban Cowboy up on DVD at an estate sale just for laughs, just because it's like, I've never seen this movie. I guess I could grind my teeth a little and make it through all the country and western. But I'm going to watch it sometime here soon, just so I can say I have seen it. And here's a good one, Moody Blues. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band. One of the Moody Blues songs that I really like a lot. There again, Moody Blues is a band. It's got, a good 6 or 8 songs that I really like, and a bunch of other ones that are okay. Was a moderate fan of the Moody Blues. It's a little more mellow than my typical style. But B-side of that, For My Lady. It's still really cool to have a Moody Blues on Threshold. Then up next, we've got one that I was really happy to get my hands on because I was a huge Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers fan. Refugee, and this is going right back to the very beginning. I believe this was his, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure this was his first 45 or his first song. It was definitely his first big hit. Don't Have to Live Like a Refugee. And then the B-side on that is Raining Again, which makes me think of Supertramp, not Tom Petty. But apparently he did a song by that title as well. I'd have to put that on, see if I recognize it or not. And then Huey Lewis. I love Huey Lewis. Huey was so good. And this is the B-side, but to me, You Crack Me Up is the better song of the two here. And what is that A-side? Well, maybe it's not the better song, but I like it better. Heart and Soul, which is another great song. That is the A-side. It's what the 45 was put out for. But I just really like You Crack Me Up. And it's appropriate because the very next one that was in the rack next to that was this here, Leader of the Laundromat by the Detergents. And I just had to pick it up. It was a minor 50 cents. And after the Huey Lewis, You Crack Me Up, I was like, yeah, this has got to be a novelty comedy record here. So, Leader of the Laundromat by the Detergents. Don't know it, but just the title made me want it. And then the B-side is Ulcers. Okay. I have to put that one on sometime, check it out. And we're in the kind of novelty records theme here for just a bit. So, Bachman and Garcia doing Pac-Man Fever. And I do remember the song when it came out. I haven't listened to it in years. So I couldn't hum you a bar. But this is clearly capitalizing on the Pac-Man popularity at the time. You'll notice this one's stamped demonstration not for sale, very faintly, but it is stamped on there. So they didn't actually produce a demo copy of it, but they stamped some regularly produced ones as demonstration and sent them out. Interesting that it's the instrumental version on the B side. So, and since we had the Pac-Man there, came across this one. I haven't listened to this. I'm not sure what the story is on this one, but Pac-Man, Run for Fun. And it's, from 1980, and it's got a side 1 and a side 2 with the same title. And it does say continued here on side 2. So I'm not sure if that's a children's book release there or what, but I just thought that was kind of cool, and I'd want to throw that one in there. So we're going to throw a repeat in here. We're done with the novelties, and I got a few extra seconds here, so I'm going to throw this Survivor Eye of the Tiger, which had the B-side of Take You on a Saturday. And we're going to wrap this episode up with Queen. Another One Bites the Dust. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what was on the B-side of Another One Bites the Dust? Don't try suicide. Nobody wants you to. Remember that. So, there you go. Best new acquisitions of 2022. We'll see you again another day.